What is up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be hanging out with me in this moment from. I am feeling really called to share one of the ways that I do like a hard reset. If you think of your body, your mind, your emotional body as your phone, right? It's running on this like operating system. And sometimes the storage gets too full. Sometimes it gets overheated. I don't know how about you, but I live in LA and oftentimes my phone will be like, we need a minute, girl. Like we're too hot and you can't do anything for a minute until this phone gets to a lower temperature, right? So you have to recognize that your system, right, can kind of only take so much. And whether or not there's a glitch, if it gets frozen because you try to open too many tabs, right? Imagine your life, your actual life in those terms, in that context. And when I tell you that my operating system this morning, we were like all set up to go, scheduled things, everything was set up for success, right? Keywords set up for success. And then life happened. And I heard this loud noise. And all of a sudden I realized that the door on my dryer had like cracked out of nowhere, despite the dryer not actually even being on. And my tech, my Zoom was like, let's do a hard reset. And also, let's update all these other things that take minutes to do, not like an instant thing. Right. And so, slowly but surely, this like ease filled runway that I had set up in advance for my morning was slowly being dismantled by the uncertainties of life. And there's a saying, right? Was it a bad 5 was it a bad day or was it a bad 5 minutes that you milked all day, right? And so one of the things that I like to do is a hard reset. And sometimes that means, depending on the day and depending on like what's happening, sometimes maybe that means I have 20 minutes and I can go and do a meditation. Sometimes it means, I'm going to go for a walk with my dog before I dive into this next block of work. Right? Like sometimes there's room for all of that. Today, there's not room for that, right? There's room for like 72 seconds of a hard reset. And so I'm going to share with you what I do when I don't have the length of time to do this like luxurious like realignment into what I am reclaiming for the day, right? Because sometimes you don't have 20 minutes to do that. Sometimes you don't even have 5 minutes to do that. So you're going to do a little reset with me in case your dryer door, hopefully not, but in case it also blows out and your tech needs, to do run updates when it's not convenient. Okay. So this is going to take less than 2 minutes. You're going to close your eyes with me if you're not driving or operating heavy machinery, if it's safe for you to do so. I'm going to have you close your eyes. And we're going to take one deep breath together, literally just to get on the same cadence of breathing. Okay. So long, slow, deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out. On the next inhale, silently count to 4. Hold that breath for 4. Exhale out for 4. And then you're going to hold that breath again for 4. And so we'll do that again. Breathing in, silently counting to 4. Hold that breath for 4. Exhale out for 4. Hold that breath for 4. One more time. In for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Take a couple deep breaths at your own pace. And then gently open your eyes. So that was less than 3 minutes of time. We redirected our attention, our mind, from whatever might be happening externally to whatever thoughts might be like swirling recklessly in your mind. We focused on 2 things. We focused on the sensation of the breath, which, oh, by the way, is always present, always here. Your breath is not in the past, it's not in the future, where, oh, by the way, conveniently, most of the stressors or the catalysts for stress reside, thinking about things that have already happened, projecting ourselves into the future. Okay. So we focused on the breath. We also focused on the thought, quote unquote, 1, 2, 3, 4. We did that 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That breath is called box breathing, or sometimes called 16-second breath. We gave your mind something to think about that was neutral. Unless 1, 2, 3, 4 is somehow uniquely activating for you, it's a neutral thought. If it is activating, choose something else, right? I am here now. Peace begins with me. Um, ABCD, right? It can be anything. But we gave your mind something else to focus on, something here in this moment and something neutral for your mind. Okay. So throughout the rest of this day, throughout the rest of this week, especially if you start to feel like your operating system is like, we're not okay, we need something, we need a hard reset, we need to turn off, we need to cool down, whatever it might be, I really want to encourage you to practice that hard reset. You can do that as many times as you want. So if you do have, that luxurious block of time to do that reset, you can always do that for 15 minutes, right? Or so. But if you don't have 15 minutes, if you have two, do that box breathing, that 16-second breath, do it 3 times. And just notice how it feels to press pause on engaging with it all, stepping back, which is what we talk about in frame, right? Before we say anything, before we do anything, before we empower the thought we're thinking, we're just going to take a step back. We're just going to rein it all in, come back to our body, regulate our nervous system, and then respond instead of react. So I hope that helps. I hope you take that with you. I will see you soon. Have a beautiful rest of your day.